Pretty spiritual.
Have you ever been told to just think positively when you feel like you're struggling?
Spirituality is often associated with positivity, but what happens when positivity becomes a way of avoiding the difficult parts of being human?
Today we're exploring toxic positivity, why all of your emotions matter, and why it's important to embrace both the light and the dark.
Hi, I'm Shay.
And I'm Amy.
And welcome back to another episode of Pretty Spiritual.
So honey, what is toxic positivity?
Good vibes only. That was so millennial of me, isn't it? Okay, so toxic positivity in a spiritual space is things like good vibes only. We say it, you attract what you vibrate, which is true to a degree, but it can become toxic. You see it all over social media. It drives me absolutely insane. And yeah, like everything happens for a reason. No, sometimes things just happen because shit hits the fan. Like life happens, okay? And you can't avoid it. I mean, fair play if you go through life and nothing literally touches you, and amazing, great work. But that is not real life. And we're talking about real life here. So yeah, I think social media has a lot to blame for this, where people feel like to be spiritual, they have to constantly be at a high vibration. It's good vibes only. No negative thoughts can infiltrate that aura. And it's just annoying. So, toxic positivity / spiritual bypassing is very common in the spiritual space.
Yeah, I agree with that. I couldn't have put that better myself. I think ultimately it is avoiding, isn't it? It's avoidance. It's avoidance of certain emotions, avoidance, almost like just not associating with certain things, real emotions that are going on for you, and just being like, good vibes only. It's not helpful.
It's incredibly invalidating as well. So avoidance in yourself, yes, or avoiding a conversation with a friend, for example, like, oh, you need to raise your vibration. You can't let the negativity consume you. You're invalidating what this person is saying to you, like an actual human emotion. And it's just no.
I feel like this is one of your favourite topics to talk about.
Hate it. Like, I come across so many people that are just like, I'm not even going to say what I want to say, but anyway, you're having a bad day, like things are really stressful at work, like me right now, and it's like you turn around and be like, hun, you're in a negative mind space right now. Just breathe. Don't let it consume you, because everything around you will become negative. No.
Yeah.
Tell me, oh, hun, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
What's going on with work? Why the hell? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. And I think it links into one of the first episodes we did, where we talked about kind of spirituality on social media looking like you need to be a certain way. It links into this whole aesthetics thing, and it's preachy, and I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about this.
I can tell. Love the passion. Love the enthusiasm. Yeah, I completely agree. I think, nobody's life is perfect all of the time. And, if you're going through a difficult patch and you want to be more private about that, that's absolutely okay. But I think it's just really acknowledging that it is okay to have those negative emotions, emotions we associate as being negative but they're just normal.
Which is stuff like anger, fear, sadness, grief. And I think this whole positive, let's just call it positive vibes. There's an umbrella of things. I think it suppresses your shadows.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Which everybody knows shadow work is imperative, and it's a constant, my favorite saying, like, you are not healed until you are dead, essentially. Suppressing shadows leads for further issues down the line. And I think a lot of people see embracing negative emotions as spiritual failure.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. And it's incredibly harmful because if you're somebody that is deeply committed to your self-development, spiritual practice, whatever it might be, and you're going through a really difficult time, and you talk to somebody or you go online and all you see is this whole toxic positivity trying to flip your mindset from negative to positive, you know, all of these different things, that adds a different level of stress and pressure to your already difficult situation, because not only are you now going through a difficult time, but you're probably now also going to be thinking, well, why am I feeling these emotions? Why can't I snap out of them? And then you almost start feeling guilty because you think that you should be able to just flick your mindset from more negative to positive.
Yeah.
And I think it's a balance, isn't it? Because it's not about unnecessarily wallowing, spiraling, dragging yourself down, but it is about acknowledging, feeling, giving yourself permission to actually process everything that's going on and to not have to snap out of it in a certain time.
There's a balance, like you've just said, about letting the negative emotions consume you or being completely the opposite way and almost like rushing to find the lesson this pain and grief or whatever is teaching you. And it's like you've just said, embracing it, sitting with it, learning from it and letting it play out. Obviously, if there's practices that make you feel a little bit better, healing is not linear. We know this. We've spoke about this. So embrace everything and use your spirituality to guide you out of that rough patch, that pain, that grief.
Yeah.
Is my thing.
I agree with that. And I think something else that I've spoken to a lot of people about is when you're going through a really tough time, that can often be the time that you feel most disconnected from your spiritual practice, and also a time where you can sometimes really question your spirituality as well. I've had conversations with friends and family members who are spiritual, but when something really crap has happened, they're like, well, what's even the point? And, you know, you start going through all of these emotions of like, why is this happening to me? And I suppose I just want to really say to people that it's normal to have those feelings, and it's okay to feel angry and to feel frustrated and to feel a little bit disconnected and to start questioning things. Like, it's normal to go through that whole process. And, you know, having somebody tell you that, you know, you just need to meditate or you just need to, you know, think positively.
Yeah.
It's not helpful in that moment.
I'm in that situation myself right now. I'm completely disconnected from my usual practices, and the guilt comes in. You're like, oh my God, I'm so far away from where I was a couple months ago. And then I realized, no, my mind and body needs this rest. And then I realized there is things that I'm doing that are a form of spiritual practice, but you know what? It's not how it was, but it will come back, because right now there's other things in my life I need to focus on. And
ultimately we are here having a human experience. So when things happen in our life that impact our human experience, and that has a certain impact on us, or that causes us to become slightly disconnected spiritually or to feel certain things, that's literally why we're here in this human experience, you know. So I think it's really just about normalizing that, you know. And I think there's definitely a difference between there's definitely a difference between someone telling you, or you thinking, I just need to think positively, I just need to be positive. Like, if you're going through a rough patch, you can still want there to be a positive outcome down the line, and to still be like a glass half full kind of person, whilst also feeling all of the emotions. It doesn't have to be like this one or the other. Just because you're allowing yourself to process and feel anger, grief, sadness, frustration, whatever it might be, doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden like a negative person that's like a glass half empty, that's looking at everything negatively. You can still be somebody that believes in magic, that believes, you know, ultimately in things working out, but you can still feel all of those things as well. Like, one doesn't take away from the other, and I think that's something that sometimes this toxic positivity can lead us to believe, that you do have to feel positively about everything.
You detach from the human experience.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. Another element of toxic positivity that we just spoke about before we started filming is the accountability side. So we came up with like a scenario, didn't we? And I can't actually remember what I've said now in terms of what we were saying. So it's almost like, you say to me, you've made me feel a certain way, and I'm really upset with this comment you made, or something like that. And then I've experienced this with people, you probably have as well. They turn around like, you're projecting onto me your issues, you really need to look inside and see what's bothering you that much. Or what was the other thing that I said, like, you need to look in the mirror because I feel like you're mirroring your frustrations onto me, and you think it's me. That lack of accountability is so toxic. It takes away from you understanding that you potentially upset someone. You invalidate them fully, but you're refusing to accept any responsibility for how your actions and comments affect other people. And I see this so much. I've had it done to me, and it's so infuriating. And I know that I can see it for what it is. It's still frustrating, but there's probably people that are like, wait, hold on. That's one huge element of toxic positivity that I hate.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think if if somebody's giving you that kind of feedback or saying that you've made them feel a certain way, there's always the opportunity for you to like look inwards. And I think by not doing that, and by saying to somebody, you know, that's your problem, not mine, we're like putting ourselves on this like pedestal where it's almost like we're perfect, we're so self-aware, and I think that's really toxic. I think it's really self-indulgent and
egotistical.
Yeah, it is, because that's the ego. Regardless of, you know, if somebody has said to you, this has made me feel a certain way, even if you don't agree with it, even if that wasn't your intention, like, there is an element of accountability, and I think that ultimately forms part of our growth. And, you know, we might then be hurt by that as well, because it's almost like, oh, well, hold on a second, like, you're criticizing me, you know. So
which is a normal human emotion.
Exactly. So I think it is just about being self-aware, and being on this spiritual path has to involve being open to receiving feedback, even when that feedback isn't what we want to hear, and to feeling all of those really normal human emotions, as well as just the good ones.
Or just find yourself friends that you don't argue with.
Well, that as well.
Like us. I completely agree. I think the other element, and it might upset people saying this, you know, I don't know how you feel about this, actually. I'm intrigued, but I'm talking about the extreme side, and it's the whole love and light thing. I see it more in witchcraft. It's like love and light, banish negativity, and again, it just detaches from reality for me. And I think if someone was stepping into this space and wanting to learn, and they were like, I need to be all love and light, and then suddenly they experience a human emotion like anger or frustration or jealousy or something like that, and they're like, oh no, I'm not love and light, I can't be spiritual, I'm doing really bad at being spiritual. Like, it just forms this narrative. And again, I think it's social media that does this. But it's like looking at yourself and thinking, I wish I was skinny, I was
No, I get that. I think for me, love and light is more about an intention than a way of being. So for me, a lot of what I do is, you know, for the purest intention, for the highest good, whether it's healing, whether it's something for myself, whether it's that I'm wishing something for somebody else. my intention is always about like kind of love, light, healing, pure, like high vibration. That doesn't mean that I am just constantly in this state of love and light. Of course not, because I'm a human being. Like, it almost, I get what you're saying, it puts this unnecessary and unrealistic expectation on yourself that just simply doesn't need to be there.
No, I mean, as your friend, you are very just love and light generally.
Thanks.
Sometimes when it slips and you like show like a little bit of like, I'm like, oh, but
Triggered.
People
are like, whoa.
There's Amy from her 20s coming back. And it's great. But yeah, like, I think you're like the perfect body, like, balance of that for me. Like, I'm very much like emotional hurricane. But that's me.
That's fine. That is you. And I think this is the thing as well, right? As part of, you know, this toxic positivity and everything, every element of spirituality, it's about authenticity. It is about honouring and being your authentic self. And if you're somebody who, you know, experiences lots of emotions to the extreme, that is fine. It's having that awareness. It's having that acceptance. Yes, there might be things that you're like, okay, like, I'd like to work on this. I'd like to embrace this. I'd like to, you know, if you're somebody who generally finds that actually it takes a lot for something to kind of trigger you, which probably is more me. Like, there are things that, you know, I do get triggered and I do feel all the different emotions, and I do obviously have very human experiences where I experience loss and grief and all of those things, you know, immensely. That's more me. Like, it's about being authentic to any and every emotion.
You've said it perfectly. Like, it's about being authentic to yourself. And there was a time when I was like, I need to be zen, I need to be calm, I'm at one with myself. And I remember my partner was like, are you okay? And genuinely, if I ended up being all love and light and positivity, I think half of you, like you, everybody else in my life, be like, she probably needs to see a psychiatrist. Because like, I am an emotional person. The minute I accepted I'm an emotional person and I feel things deeply, I'm an Aquarius, like, come on. And I can appear to be cold or whatever, how I deal with emotions. The minute I accepted that's how I am and stopped trying to change it, obviously I made changes to better myself and be a better person, but change what is deep rooted in me that isn't actually a bad thing, things flowed a lot better for me.
It's self-acceptance, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of it comes down to.
Another version of toxic positivity is karma. So what I mean by like karmic blame, that kind of thing. So a manifestation as well. So there's a lot of distorting what karma means to fit a narrative online. So it's almost like people's financial hardships or grief or losing, like bad things happening to people, and saying, well, karma got them. That karma, yes, but if you actually look at karma from a proper level,
Like karmic cycles.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's a balance to it, and people can come back from that. It's not always like, well, I hope bad karma comes to you forever and ever, and you like, don't love that kind of element of it. And that then links back into low vibrational thinking. So bad manifestation. I know we did our episode on manifestation, and the vibration that you're at obviously goes into that. But sometimes life just happens, and your past experiences don't define what you can manifest or karma either, and you can change that. I think a lot of people talk, I don't actually know what I'm trying to say.
I think I do.
I'm trying to articulate it, but people use things like karma and manifestation, and people not working, well, you must have done something wrong in a, like,
I think sometimes it is about that it's trying to justify why something has or hasn't happened,
Yes.
or why someone is feeling a certain emotion or experiencing a certain thing. Whereas, like you said earlier, there's not always some big, extravagant, profound spiritual meaning to something crap just happening.
Yeah, and I'm not being funny. There's probably a lot of people out there that have manifested amazing lives that are terrible people.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there probably is. And that's not how the universe works. And I think people making comments and judgments like that, who are you to decide the fates of the universe? Like, ultimately, some of the rich, like, I could look at the richest people in the world and be like, this is not fair. Like, this is an injustice to me. I haven't been as terrible as whoever. And they're absolutely, loaded.
Yeah.
But it creates this narrative that I'm just not a fan of.
yeah, I completely agree. So, Hood, what is the cure for toxic positivity?
Stop believing everything on social media. No. I think the cure is essentially integration over perfection. So true spiritual maturity isn't about vibrating at such a high frequency that nothing affects you, like nothing hurts. It's about growing and expanding your ability to deal with emotions and situations. So I would say using things in your spiritual practice to better how you react to things or deal with things is a really good way, and recognizing growth as well, because I look at ways that I would have reacted to situations, and since before I embrace spirituality, and I look at it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, growth, I'm dealing with things a lot better. And patting yourself on the back for that as well, and realizing, as we said, healing is not linear, and it's always just stepping to your more steps towards your higher self. I think honoring emotions like anger, honor that you can feel frustration, honor that you can have these negative emotions, journal them, reflect on them. Things like somatic presence, so feeling where that anger is like in you and moving it through the body, working with the energy and trying to release it that way. Or say it's heartbreak and you feel heartbreak, recognizing it, honoring it, acknowledging it is a huge thing. Like, don't just affirm away that emotion, or
feeling it.
Like,
you got to feel it to heal it.
like, I am not heart. You could sit there and manifest, I am not heartbroken, I am fine. But do you know what? Feel into that. Do your manifestation afterwards, but recognize and acknowledge that is a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's how we move through life as well, isn't it? Because otherwise we just end up storing all of these suppressed emotions, and that's going to cause us problems later down the line. So as much as it's uncomfortable and as much as it can be really difficult to, allow ourselves to feel, it is the best way.
Agree. And then I think a final one would be replacing spiritual bypassing with like compassion. So if you find you're having conversations with someone that's saying to you, well, everything happens for a reason, you'll learn from this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you want to, what you really want in that conversation is like, I recognize that's really hard for you, and talking about those emotions. And then
it's finding somebody who can actually hold space without trying to feel like they need to flip you from the vibration that you're in to like a higher vibe. Just someone that can just sit with you where you're at is what you need.
Exactly. Someone to listen and hold space, as you've just said. If you're sitting with a friend and talking to them about a really tough time in your life, and they're saying, well, let's try and meditate, let's do this, let's do that. Okay, great, we can try that, but listen to how I'm feeling, hear me, acknowledge those, and have that healthy discussion about those feelings.
Yeah, I agree. I also think on that, it's recognizing, like I've had it in the past where, say if you've been really angry about something, being mindful of like if you've got a friend that's going to add to that anger because they're fueled by your anger, because that then makes you feel even worse. Do you know what I mean? So equally where you get that like toxic positivity, somebody trying to be like, oh wow, this will get better, like you kind of just need someone that's going to be like
in the middle.
Yeah, a bit balanced.
Neutral.
Yeah, a bit neutral, a bit balanced. Not somebody that's going to like feed off your anger and make you feel even worse.
Get
mad. But equally someone that's not going to try and like flip you out of it. It is just that kind of like holding space and that meeting you where you are.
Yeah.
So what is one small thing that listeners could do over the next couple of weeks to try and avoid the trap of this toxic positivity?
I would say this week, notice whether you are allowing yourself to feel all of your emotions, not just the ones that you're comfortable with, and really sit with yourself and reflect on the week and think about how situations that you've been in make you feel. And yeah, just see if you're opening yourself up to feel fully.
And allow yourself to feel fully as well if you're not.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Pretty Spiritual.
If you've enjoyed hanging out with us, then don't forget to like, subscribe and follow along on our platform to be the first to receive any updates.
We hope to see you next Tuesday for another episode of
Pretty Spiritual.
Pretty spiritual.